Well, hello everyone, Unretired here. Today I wanted to show you a Saboteur build. So it is Demolitionist plus Night Billet, so hybrid Saboteur. Now this build concentrates on, obviously it will be on melee attacks. However, we've concentrated a lot of points into Spirit, so we can do, because we're going to be doing lots of fire damage, lightning damage, burn, electrocute. And in due time I will show you how the build actually does against enemies. It's pretty awesome. It gets kind of convoluted into while you're actually killing mobs, but I'll just show you how stats are first. So stats without gear, and this is with devotion, so it might affect the stat points. I'm up to 793, 405 for cunning, and 500 for spirit. Now I'm about to 505 at the 400 mark. Sorry, for cunning. Reason being, I do need enough cunning for the weapons that I need, which is I have 2 crystallums. So it has lightning damage, electrocute, attack speed, converts physical damage to lightning damage, resistances, and it adds +2 to Storm Touch and Stormcaller's Pack, which I do not use. But it's not the plus skills that are important to me, it's the stats of the weapons. I put a Haunted Steel on it, and it grants a Bloodthirster. And I have some more more lightning damage on that one, and the other one I have fire damage plus burn damage. So yeah, those I really needed that because it's at 4 requirements 4 or 4 cunning, and I'm at 4 or 5. See that? 4 or 5, 4 or 4. Anyways, so those are the stats themselves. Now, if we're talking about distribution of skill points, I went max with Nightblade up until Execution. I only put a couple points into Execution. I put 7 out of 8 into Whirling Death, 8 out of 8 for Amarasa's Quick Cut. More so because of the crit, because when I crit, I have chances of proccing my skills that I currently have for the build. 1 point into Nidala's Hidden Hand. This is more for the slow for 5 seconds. That's if they even last for 5 seconds, but still, it's quite good to actually have it. Plus, it does a little bit of poison damage. And I have 3 points into Belkothian Shears, 1 point to Dual Blades. Now, I have 1 point in Shadow Strike, in Nidala's Justifiable Ends. Again, this actually grants an 8% skill cooldown to our Shadow Strike, so we can do Shadow Strike very consistently in combat, which is pretty good. Plus the poison damage as well, and it adds to our crit chance. Now I put 4 points into Nightfall. This was more for life leech. You don't necessarily have to put 4 points here. You can redistribute the points in there if you want. I just put them because I wanted to see how the build actually would work with the frost burn damage. It's not big, but I like it anyways. That's for myself, my playstyle. I have 10 points into Pneumatic Burst, obviously for that health, attack speed. I put 1 point into the Breath of Belkothian. It basically does a -5 second skill recharge and increases my health regeneration by 33%. 12 into Shadow Dance. 10 into Veil of Shadow, very important. You need to max this out. Okay, you can, if you do a different build, you can max this out and you can put Night's Chill, but 10 out of 10 in Veil of Shadow is the most important here. And 12 points into Phantasmal Armor. Energy absorption from spells, gives you armor, pierce resistance, reduced freeze duration, and it has 33% chance of 276 energy leech retaliation over 2 seconds. Not too bad, not too shabby, right? Now for Demolitionist, I only went till 25 because I want, most importantly, Static Strike and Concussive Bomb to be maxed out. So let's start from the beginning. I have 11 out of 12 for Fire Strike. There's a reason for that, because I have gear that adds points to my skills, right? So 11 out of 12 for Fire Strike, 8 out of 12 for Flame Touched, 8/12 Explosive Strike, and I did put Searing Strike because I'm using melee weapons, dual wielding. It adds that plus 25% crit damage total mod. It's a total damage modified by 15%, really good, and a minus 33% energy cost, which is quite important. And I maxed out Static Strike for the fire damage, knockdown, and the 60% chance of 1021 lightning damage is really good. 11 out of 12 Flashbang, 9 out of 10 Searing Light. I highly recommend that these are maxed out. In most Demolitionist builds, I would have to say you shouldn't be maxing out these two skills. 1 point into Vindictive Flame, 1 into Alzuin's Wrath. Now only 1 point in here because I get so many points added from my gear, it's only worth putting 1 point into it. 1 point into Canister Bomb, and I put 3 into the Concussive Bomb, which adds a 100% chance of to stun the target for 3 to 4 seconds. Perfect. Let's go on to Devotion, the juicy part. Now, to start off, I did go for, in our constellations, I did want, in the Crossroads turn, I went 5% health, 15 offensive ability, 15 offensive ability again, and 5% health. Now, reason being is that we want those affinities, at least one, because that's what we're going to need. It's theory crafting, basically. So we're going to go and max out our Crane. I'll just give you a quick look. This. Alright, you can see resistances and stats. We will be maxing out our Hawk. Offensive ability, crit. Offensive ability, minus 10% requirement for ranged weapons. We don't use ranged weapons, that's okay. Max into Empty Throne. So, as you can see, it's this here. And as you can see, it's more for the resistances than anything else. Max into Crab. So we have this here, this, and we can use your skill called Elemental Barrier. I just put my Veil of Shadow on it, so it'll gain experience quite fast. Actually, this is I haven't played this build very long, but I got 5 levels in a matter of less than, I would say, less than half an hour. Now, I put max points into Sailor's Guide, Physique, Slow Duration, more Physique, Cold Resistance. Now we have Solemn Watcher. I did not max this one out. I only put points here. Poison Acid Resistance, Resistances again, Elemental Resistances, and I have the... no, not Cleanse the Water. I only put these 3 points, sorry. I was thinking about my tank build for a second there. So, max out Viper, Spirit, this... Oh, sorry. Resistances. This one, Tempest, is really good. Max that shit out. Absolutely. 20% lightning damage. Look at that 5 to 114 lightning damage. Adds percentage lightning damage, electrocute damage, offensive ability, resistance, movement speed, 30% chance of 100% lightning damage, Tempest again, and Reckless Tempest. This is like, it just rains down on the map. It's just crazy how much, how crazy it is. I'll just show you very soon. I really love that this skill. Up next is Chariot of the Dead. Point here, a point here. Don't take a Vitality Resistance. We can get it with gear and or components anyways. You don't want to put too much. Cunning. Well, there's never too much with resistances, but that's what I'm just saying. This one, Wayward Soul. It's pretty good. It procs very often. 100% chance when hit by a critical. So this is a reason why I put lots of points into skills that give me crit damage or a critical hit. So this will actually proc quite often. Up next, I put points into Behemoth. So 8% health, 400 health, 10 plus 10 HP per second. And I put a point into Giant's Blood, 15% chance when hit. Basically gives me 12% health, plus 560 health restored, plus 90 HP per second. Pretty good. I didn't put a point into this one. I actually attributed my single point left into 4% health and defensive ability. Alright. Now let's go take a quick look how what the gear looks like when I add everything. So like I said, I have 2 crystallums. Now you don't necessarily have to have the same gear as me. It's not as important. I'm just want to show you with optimal gear, like really good gear, what kind of damage this build could be doing. You can have blues, you can have greens. It's not a problem. Okay, it's not super gear dependent. You just have to work around with components and your powders for resistances. Okay, so you have to decide on that on yourselves. If you don't have that gear, go for the blues, the greens, and go around it. I know you guys can work around it. So I have 2 crystal imps. One has the lightning damage, and the other one has the fire damage. I have Alduin's head guard. It gives me +3 flame touched. I have a thread of mortality. I have a life giver signet. Now, if I had 2, that'd be great, but I put a time flux ban for that elemental damage. There's defensive ability, resistances, so it was a good choice for me, anyways. Otherwise, I would have put a blue, but it wasn't as better as this one. I have the Alduin's shoulder guard, +2 static strike, +2 Alduin's wrath. As you can see, my sets at I have the 3 set bonus. I could put the if I press W here, I do have the Alduin's flame spreader, but honestly, this is not a ranged build. I just use it just in case I need to like go away and I'll just shoot like a guerrilla style. I don't really like the gun. There are some guns that are way better than this, to be honest, so it's just, if it happens, I'm gonna use it. I have a Wormborn handguards. I took it more for the stats themselves. Lots of health. I have a Storm Titan threads. Love that lightning damage on it. The health percentage, the plus skills, plus the granted skills. Storm Titan. It's when I'm hit, so it's a passive. When I'm hit, becomes suffused with I don't even know if you can say that properly. Suffused with lightning, shocking all who stand too close for your presence. Anyways. I have a Mark of Divinity, Tinker's Ingenuity. I have a Alduin's Pyroclasm. It adds +1 skills to Demolitionist, so any skill that I have it, I'll add +1 to it. Lots of good fire damage and lightning damage, resistance as well, and fire retaliation, which is very good for our Vindictive Flame as well. Now, I did put Storm Cage leg guards. Good offensive ability and all that good stuff. More for the stats than anything else. I could put something with fire, but my offensive ability wouldn't be as strong. Alduin's chest guard. The plus skills, magnificent. The stats are great on it as well. Resistances as well. Now, you're probably wondering, does this build do a lot of damage? Yeah, let's go show you here. Alright, let's go... Let's go real quick. Let's go with Tomb of the Watchers. Just show you guys. You'll see like everything just like everywhere. Okay, let's just go. Let's just jump somewhere. Okay, let's back. Look at that! Look at that! It just. I mean, if you didn't kill him the first time, sometimes they'll evade, obviously, you'll fumble. But if you haven't killed them the first time, they just go on, like, we'll just continue here. Look at that. And what I love about this, you can do your flashbangs so often. It really doesn't cost you much to actually do it. Yeah. Look at that. Oh my god, I love it. Look at it. How long was that? What? 2 seconds? 3 seconds? Now, the mobs that you'll have a bit more difficulty with the build are the ones that are quite... that are pretty heavy on armor. You'll have to... you know, put a couple of dots on them and whatnot, but it shouldn't be a real big issue. uh, for any of you guys. So we'll just go in an area where they do quite a bit of elemental damage. The loads. Okay, perfect. So just go in there. You do that. You do your thing. There you go. And you can just go on, and you don't need to stop. If the damage keeps on going. You just make everyone have a concussion here. Okay. Here, when against these elite mobs, obviously you want to get rid of the smaller ones first. But yeah, it's not a big deal here. So like I said, against heavier armored opponents, that'll take a bit more time, but it's still super good. Like, I mean, there's no real chance of you actually dying that much. If you're dying, obviously you're doing something wrong, so you have to work on your tactics with the build as well. You don't necessarily have to just stay in there, and you can just do this. And your damage is still going on. Look at that. Well, obviously you want to kill him first. So that's the build, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I actually would have preferred getting the Heart of Ulzwin. It would have given me a +2 to demolitionist skills. I will put the link in the description as well for that, so you guys can see what it looks like. But yeah, that's the build, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Do try it out. Like I said, you don't need to have the same gear. Work around it and see what you can get. I'm Unretired. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.